Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, this is Jason for Prodogz Dog Training. Today's video vlog comes from Rachel in Medford. Rachel asked me, why are dog parks so bad? If you've ever taken any of my classes or you've taken some training from me, I usually kind of try to talk to people about dog parks, and sometimes I actually try to talk people out of dog parks. And so the question comes up quite a bit, you know, why do I not like dog parks? Why am I not a big fan of dog parks? I need to start over again because Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, this is Jason from Prodogz Dog Training. Today's question comes from Rachel in Medford. Rachel in Medford asked me, why am I not a big fan of dog parks? This is a pretty simple question. It's a question I get probably answered or asked once or twice a week when I work with clients. So dog parks are interesting, dang it, interesting, let's start. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, it's Jason from Prodogz Dog Training. This morning's question comes from Rachel in Medford. Rachel asked me, why am I not a big fan of dog parks? This is a question I get probably once or twice a week when I work with clients. Dog parks are probably the fastest way, in my opinion, to untrain your dog. It also puts young dogs at risk and actually can put older dogs at risk. So let's talk about the risks first. A lot of times people get a brand new puppy or a young dog, and the moment it has all of its shots, they think, hey, it's time to socialize the dog. And I'm not saying it's not time to socialize. Within the first 6 months of a puppy's life is really crucial. Actually the first year, but really the 6 months, in my opinion, are a really crucial time in a puppy's life. So let's say you take that puppy into public, you want to get it socialized because maybe the last dog you had was dog reactive, or maybe your neighbor's dog is dog reactive, and you think, hey, it really needs to be socialized and be around other dogs. So a lot of people don't think about the risk. So let's say we take a 14-week-old puppy or a 15-week-old puppy, and we take it to the dog park, and nobody else is in the dog park. The dog is running around having a great old time, and all of a sudden another dog comes in, and that dog, maybe that dog is not reactive, or maybe that dog is perfectly fine with other dogs, but it runs up to the puppy and says, hey, I want to play with you. And it's overwhelming to the puppy. In other words, it flooded the puppy. Instead of being introduced slowly, instead of being introduced the correct way, the dog runs right up to the puppy, and all of a sudden the puppy has this really bad reaction. That reaction sticks with the dog for long periods of time. Now, I'm not saying every situation is going to be like that. I'm not saying that you can't have a puppy that another dog comes up and the puppy's like completely fine. But 9 times out of 10, most of the time, if the puppy has never experienced an outside dog, meaning not from where it came from, the breeder, if it's bought from a breeder, or maybe at home if the dog, if the person has more dogs at home. But 9 times out of 10, if the dog has a bad reaction like that, it really sticks with the dog. And so let's say the puppy kind of overcomes that day. Well, the next time that puppy sees another dog, this memory, this experience is recalled in the puppy's brain. The puppy sees another dog, says, oh, wait a minute, I remember what happened last time I saw another dog. It ran up to me and I was like really scared. It's much like this. If you reach and you grab a hot pan, next time you reach and grab a pan, your brain automatically says, wait a minute, last time I grabbed a pan, this happened, and it triggers something in your brain to say, wait a minute, maybe I need to be cautious this time. And it's much like that to the puppy. What usually happens if the puppy has a bad experience or multiple bad experiences, now when the dog gets a little bit older, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, now when the dog sees another dog, the dog becomes, I don't want to say aggressive, you would think aggressive, but it becomes reactive. It starts barking and growling and it starts carrying on, and really what it's doing, it's protecting itself. It's saying, hey, I'm really nervous about the situation and I need to defend myself because I know what's going to happen. So in retrospect, there are ways to introduce your dog to other dogs. There are healthy ways to do it. One of the ways we do is we take dogs for walks with other dogs, and usually we try to pick the dog that you're introducing your puppy to. It's a dog that's not reactive. It's kind of bomb-proof when it comes to other dogs. Okay, so there's other ways, but that's really just the kind of the go-to way that I usually recommend people that are new to this and don't have a lot of handler experience. So the other problem with dog parks, in my opinion, it untrains the dog faster than you can train it. And here's an example. Let's say you bring your 6-month-old golden retriever to the dog park, and up to there, and he just hasn't had a whole lot of freedom outside of your backyard or outside of your controlled environment. And you bring the dog to the dog park, you let the dog go, and the dog starts, playing with the other dogs or starts just having a gay old time, and you try to call the dog, and the dog doesn't come to you. I guarantee you the dog hears you. And so let's say then you say, okay, maybe I should call louder. And so you call louder to the dog. And then pretty soon that's not working. And so now maybe you pull out some food and you kind of lure the dog back to you, and the dog does finally come back to you. And you reward the dog and you put the dog on a leash and you walk out the dog park. That right there automatically tells the dog something. One, it says that you're going to work for the dog to come back. And two, if it ever comes back to you inside of the dog park, it's going to have to go home. And let's be honest, dogs do like to have the freedom. They do like to run around with other dogs, or if there's no other dogs, it just likes to run around and sniff the area, and it just have a fun time. So if it learns it comes back to you and it gets immediately put on leash and you take it home, guess what? Now the dog says, wait a minute, next time I go there and the owners try to call me, I'm not going to go to the owners. Now maybe it's not really thinking that, but next time you do go there and it is time to go home, you're going to have to work even harder. You're going to have to come up with some other lure or some other way to coax the dog back in. And every time we coax the dog builds up this tolerance to it, where pretty soon there's no amount of coaxing you can do. So the moral of the story is, if you want to socialize your dog, find healthy ways to socialize. Like a lot of people, they call me up and I want to really socialize my puppy, and I usually encourage them to take a basic obedience class from me. It's a great way to start, but it's also a great way to start socializing your dog, not just training wise, but socializing. And the reason being is we are in a safe environment. All the dogs are on leash, all the dogs are kept from each other. Your dog learns to be able to work around other dogs, to be able to function around other dogs without having this fear of other dogs coming up. Another way is, if you go to the dog park, stay outside of the dog park. Like, you just play with your dog outside of the fence area. Dogs can come up to the fence. It's a controlled environment. There's no chance of your dog getting hurt or being scared or having a bad experience. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in to today's video vlog. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. You can leave them here on Facebook, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave me a comment. If you guys are interested in training or interested in socializing your young dog or your puppy, I'd really encourage you to sign up for a basic obedience class. My class goes every 4 weeks from 6 to 7 p.m. You can call me at 541-608-2857, or you can look me up online at www.engageyourdog.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and you guys have a blessed day.